Hey there, adventurers. I'm Norwolf. Welcome to my role-playing game realm and to episode 10 of my Powers and Perils solo play. So, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, Gildor, Raffin, and Marazan had headed out from Gold Edge, eastward down the road and then off north into the woods, basically retracing their steps from the previous day where they had encountered Marazan being attacked by some orcs. They basically tried to follow the orcs back from those ruins and to see where they'd come from. And as they were searching for whatever it was that the orcs called their current home, they had come across a patrol of orcs that consisted of 4 orcs and one hill giant that was following fairly closely behind them. They managed to dispatch all of those critters and then proceeded to follow where they had come from to come across a cave that seemed to have an orc sentry in the front. But before we get to that, I'm going to cover off a little bit of some of the updates on the character sheets. So let's flip over to that and see what we get to here. Right, as for updates, so let's start with Gildor. Actually, before that, a couple of updates or a couple of corrections from the last video. Messed up a little bit on the money that these guys got. I think I only calculated it for 3 orcs in the patrol rather than 4, so I updated their coinage based on that. They ended up with 56 copper coins from these creatures, or from these from the orcs, rather than the whatever it would have been, 30, 42, something like that. And what was the other thing? When I was in town purchasing armor for these guys, I had used the cost of ring mail rather than banded ring. So I corrected the expenses related to their armor for that. All right. So otherwise, and then the other piece was I didn't add their 4 expertise for using their longbows on the orcs. So for Gildor, not a whole lot of change on the front page. Added in his combat experience points. He's got his various stats, correction to his longbow, normal damage and severe damage. He's got his expertise points for his axe, his longbow, his shield. Actually, no, he didn't get any for his shield that time around. And there's bits and bobs for carrying an armor from the previous time. His spell expertise, smokeless flame. He hasn't done any healing yet. I guess we could still do some healing on these guys. Or did I do healing? Actually, I don't remember. Anyways, they're already in front of the cave, so we won't worry about that at this point. So there's not too much to change on Gildor. On Raffin, on the other hand, with the combat experience points that he got, his combat experience level went to 6, which means his OCV and DCV have all increased by 1. His hit point value has gone from 31 to 33 with the modifications that have been done to his stamina and strength. And his healing chance has gone up by 1 from 45 to 46, but a little bit higher portage ability. 135 instead of 126. And let's see, getting close to his bastard sword going up, 40 expertise of the 49 he needs. Not too much else there. So that is it for Raffin. And Marazan, again, with her combat experience points, she has gone to CEL5, combat experience level 5. Her OCV and DCV have both gone up by 1. Her hit points have gone from 39 to 40. Her healing chance from 61 to 63. portage or portage, however you want to say that, ability 120 to 126. Yeah, so she's actually got some damage. I probably should have done some healing spells on these guys before they went hunting for the cave, but I guess they haven't engaged the orcs yet, so they could probably move back a ways, do some healing and whatnot, and carry on from there. The other thing I didn't do last time was, as usual, Gildor wants to collect some bits and parts from the hill giant, because it could be useful to him in some magic creation when he gets to that point. So what I'm going to use is at the back of book 4, basically page, I think it was 408 or something like that. There's 407 here. It talks about natural magic and finding natural magic items and things like that. So bit I'm going to use here in his collection for collecting parts is this whole creature derived items, which are varied on the size of the creature. And I think what I might try using here is basically the size of the creature determines the dice that gets used for the number of components found. So if we look at and then again I'm going to be using for now the survival skill for the collecting the parts. If we look at the hill giant has a size of 6, so we'll be using a d6 if Gildor is successful in collecting. And so again, we're using the problem solving or skill use essentially. And we are doing the survival skill is other type, so it's we'll say it's difficult, so it's going to be a 5 times multiplier on his EL of 8 in hill survival. So it's going to be 40% chance. And we have a 14, so he is successful. So he is getting a die 6, 1 part, 1 hill giant part. So anyways, at least it's something. And his skill success gives him 8 expertise in hill survival. And I've lost my pen. That's all. Oh, there it is. We have plus 8 expertise there, so that's going to bump him up a level, which actually maxes it out. And actually that's 15 exactly. Oh, cool. And we have the 1 hill giant part. So where's my other notes here? And hill giant, 1 part. Cool. All right. So that takes care of that part. So they do kind of back off a short distance. I think it's worthwhile Raffin getting a healing and Marazan getting healing. Do I do the same healing mist as last time? Or do I just cast the healing spells? I think I'm just going to cast the healing spells. So, what does that do for us? So healing. Healing is a d6 plus stamina bonus plus EL. So let's see what we can do here. Take 3 points. So he's going to do another one on her. Normally, he'd be a little, could be, for the characters that don't have a high con, it could be a little sketchy casting multiple heal spells on them. Magical healing, yeah, so Constitution times 2. Her Constitution is like 90 or something, so she'd have to be, she could probably survive a good 5 or 6 heals in a day. Anyways, not too worried about that. All right, so he's going to try his language again. He failed his language, so he's casting at EL1. He's got -7 to his roll, and that's going to be failure. Fortunately, he's not an abysmal. And that's not within 25, so he doesn't get a partial. So he's burnt off another 3 points. So 4, 8, 14, 37. Okay, so he's not going to do another healing. He wants to save a few points for the next encounter with the orcs. So he can actually maybe cast a spell or two before the day's done. But he did get one more successful heal out. Let's figure out what he got for that. Oops. So, healing gains heal 1. So 3 magic experience points and MC times 2. So 2. So getting 5 and 7. So let's add that into this guy. Plus 7. That's actually good enough for one characteristic. He will throw that into, let's make this a 17 just for the sake of making a change. He will get 5 partial or 5 expertise on his healing spell. He's got 21 there, so he's getting close to the next expertise level. And I think we're done. So they will make their way back to the cave. And let's flip some stuff around here. They will... This map, they've finished with the orc encounter on this map. So they are back at cave, observing the orc at the front. Actually, one quick correction. The point can't go into strength. Strength and agility are the two characteristics that magic can't increase. So it's going to throw it into his will. So his will goes from 38 to 39. Back to here. Right. So they wait for the orc to head inside, and then they approach the cave entrance as carefully as they can. So they start moving their way into the cave. Obviously, they don't know exactly where the orc is, so they're trying to be as quiet as possible. Gildor will bring up the rear. Marazan will be behind Raffin. And they're basically creeping forward. And at some point here, the orc around the corner has a chance of hearing and seeing Raffin. I'm going to say it's an easy skill check. The orcs I'm using, this is an orc A type, has an EL2 in his skills in general, so we'll say that that's probably an easy, like I said. So it's an other times 20. He's got a 40% chance of hearing Raffin coming. Raffin being in metal armor and all the rest, I'll say he's got a -10 to his roll. So he hears Raffin. And Raffin knows he's there. And Raffin's underground survival? I don't think he has one. He's got +20 to his roll to... what would that be based on? I think for Raffin, it would be based on... probably intelligence or something. So 24. He's not... Raffin's not exactly sure where he is, but he knows he's going to be somewhere close to the entrance. So I think basically they're not going to have a chance to surprise the orc, and it's a decision of for the orc to either come in and attack Raffin, or does he run and warn the rest? I think he's going to yell or call the alarm and move in to attack Raffin so that they can't get past the entrance. So let's see. We will. There's no mana allocation, no missile fire here. We're straight into movement and melee. And who's going to go first? Usually the characters get to go first. So Raffin will move in and engage the orc. Marazan will move up, as will Gildor. Gildor can actually see the orc from there. He's going to shoot his bow. Marazan has her broadsword out, so she's not going to be shooting anything. Yeah, sorry. So let's go from there. Since Gildor, never mind. I think if you only move, I think you can fire your missile weapon during the movement melee phase. But if let's see, missile fire. Missile fire, missile fire. I think that's, it's probably under movement. Movement melee. During this phase, guns will move. Half an inch of each other. Missile fire, all projectile weapons and other thrown weapons this time. Damage scored. If the missile weapon is used from horseback, not choose to use fire during the movement. Oh, okay, here it is. If he chooses not to do so, he may fire during the movement phase at any point of his move. Oh, that's for thrown, isn't it? No, if he does not. Movement point cost of fire weapon during movement melee is 3 movement points for bow and 2 for a weapon. So he's moved 1, 2, 3. So he's moved 15 feet. His movement rate is 3, so he doesn't have enough to shoot in the phase. Okay, so it's just the melee combat between Raffin and the orc. So let's get ourselves set up here. Go to this page. And we got some new orcs set. So we have an orc A with a 15 hit points. And what else does he have? You have strength bonus +1, OCD 5, DCV 3, EL 2. He's got leather armor, leather helm, banded target shield, an axe, weapon strength bonus +1. And he's got EL 2 in his axe, EL 2 in his shield. So let's go from there. So, Raffin. And just for sake of the combat here, The axe and the heavy sword have an order of 7. With Raffin's magical bastard sword, it gives him an attack priority of 5, so he's going to go. That goes before the axe, anyways. In this instance, so Raffin is an OCV 10 versus a DCV 3, so he's on the +7 line. He is subtracting 4 plus his EL 6. He's subtracting 10, adding 2 for the skill of the orc's shield. He's subtracting 8 on the +7 line. So let's see how he does here. +7 minus 8, 79. That's a complete miss. I have a feeling it's going to be another one of those days of rolling a lot of misses. Now, the orc swings back. So DCV 9. Orc has an OCV of 5. So he's on the -4 line. Raffin has a heater shield skill of 1. The orc has an EL of 2 in his weapon, so he's -1 to his roll. On the -4 line. And a 26 on the -4 line. 25. It's going to be a shield hit. So Raffin's got a shield hit. Where are we here? So Raffin, shield, Marazan, Gildor. Let's see, keep those there just in case. And I don't think he can damage the shield. Actually, he can damage the shield. So a D6 +2, I think. So +1 for the axe, +1 for the strength, and the D6 +2. That's going to be 5 points. And Raffin's shield is at, so 11 minus 4, it's at 7, so that's another point of damage to a shield. He's going to swap shields with this orc here in a sec, if that's the case. Assuming he's going to kill him right away. So that is the end of that first phase. That is phase 1. So phase 2. No mana allocation. We do have missile fire from Gildor. The attacker is... don't have the missile modifiers on here, do I? No, I don't. So he is at a range of... that's what? Range of 1? Yeah, range of 1. Point blank, he'd have to be right next to him. So longbow, range of 1 is 0 to 3. So is on the +12 line. He's got some minuses because he's got an obscured target. So -12 is on the 12 line. A 36 is going to be a hit. And what kind of modifiers does he have to that hit? I think it's double the range, if I remember correctly. So concealment, when the target is partially hidden behind an object capable of deflecting missiles, it's for A above, so night, which is basically just doubling the range. The range of 1 becomes range of 2, which is still a point blank, so it's still a hit. So dice 6 damage. He's a dice 6 +1 damage. So 2 points, which gets blocked by, or 1 point. Well, no, actually. 1 point gets blocked by the armor, and he's got a natural armor value of 2 for having a thick hide, so he takes no damage. Okay, so that is the melee. No, that's missile fire for the melee side of things. Raffin is on the +7 line. So he's -8 on his roll. That's a 51. 51, going to be a shield hit. And he's doing the 6 plus 5, so 5, 10. And the shield does not break, but it does take 1 point of damage. Which I should mark down, because Raffin may want to take that shield if it's got less damage than his at the end of this. And the orc swings back on the -4 line, and that's going to be a miss. So we have orcs elsewhere in the cave. Whoops. Elsewhere in the cave. That should be deciding what they're doing. And their phase 2 movement rate is going to be 20 feet. He's going to go 5, 10, 20. You can see everybody down there. Guy's going 5, 10, 20. And this guy's going 5, 10, 15. Can't go diagonal. Because that would be 25. Here we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 5. No, it's at 10. Well, that's 5, 10, 15, 20. And 5, 10, 15, and nowhere else to go. Oh, back down here. Okay, phase 3. See if we can drop these guys and move into the room so we can try and get more orcs attacking. We're attacking more orcs at the same time, I guess. Okay, phase 3. Missile fire. Gildor, you're on the +12 line. That's going to be a 57, another shield hit. Arrows can't damage shields, so that's going to be nothing. Raffin, you're on the +8 line. No, +7 line. You can do better. Holy crap, that's another shield hit. Another 8 points. That's going to be another point of damage on the shield. So his shield is 88, and with a +2 from his skill. If he was to do basically 8 points of damage, 9 points of damage next time, he could actually break the shield. Orc swings back. 42 on the -4 line. He's got a -1, 41, so that's a shield hit on Raffin's shield. That's 5 points of damage, which is enough to do another point of damage here. And we are into moving the rest of the guys. Phase 3, they're going 30 feet, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, I've let them go there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. I've got a backlog of orcs here. 5, 10, 15, 20. And that's good enough. 15, 20, 25, 30. All right. I don't know if I had a lightning bolt, that'd be perfect lineup for a lightning bolt. Let's see. Does that guy... I guess that guy does get a swing at Raffin, so... He's got a -5 to his roll, -6. 84 is going to be a miss. Next next phase. We're on phase 4. Right, so mana allocation. I think we should probably do a spell of some sort for Gildor. Taking a boo through his spells. He doesn't really have anything that does an AoE. I mean, he's got an exploding arrow, but at EL1, the range is pretty pitiful. If we look at archery powers, exploding arrow, the range is EL divided by 4 round down. So EL1 is basically 0. So it'll explode and do the die 10 plus EL damage, the die 10 plus 1 plus the arrow damage. So it's not bad, it's not great. And that would be base mana cost 4. So yeah, not a great mana to damage ratio. If I stick with Smokeless Flame like he usually does, I can use a language on it, so he can potentially cast at EL3. I don't think he'd want to do EL3 because they only have like 15-ish hit points. So could basically use the language. Does he need the language? So here's the neat part, I guess, about the way spells work in this game. So get the handy dandy paper. So the base mana cost of Smokeless Flame is 4. So he has the potential of casting it all the way up to, with the language, EL3. Now, his expertise level is 2. He's gathering, without the language, he's gathering 3 mana per phase. And so in 2 phases, he can cast it EL0 or 1. And in 3 phases, he can cast it EL2. He manages to use his language. He's able to gather 4 mana per phase, which means he can cast EL0 in 1 phase for that same phase. He can cast it EL1 in 2 phases because it's reduced by 20%, which is still 5. So he needs 4 the first phase and gathers 1 more the second phase, and then casts it in the second phase. EL2, he can cast it again in 2 phases. Costs him 7 mana, so 4 and then 3 in the second phase, and so it goes off in the second phase. And otherwise at EL3, it's going to take him 3 phases as well. So it's reduced by, actually 2 phases. Reduced by 20%, so that's an 8. So in 2 phases, he can get his 8 and cast it at 3. So I think he's going to try and use the language on it, get his 4 mana per phase, and cast it at EL0, so it goes off that same phase. So it's a lot of flexibility in how you do spells in this game. So his language is number. What's the second language here? It is Tongue of the Giant, which he has EL60 in, so he has a 60% chance of successfully using the language. 35, so he uses the language. He's going to cast it at EL0, so that costs him 4 mana. And he is effectively EL3, so it's -6 to his roll, plus the MDV. Oh, and of course he's going to cast it at he is going to cast it at, what's his range? EL3. So he's got a range of 40 feet. Oops. Got a range of 40 feet. So he can effectively get 5, 10, 15, 20. You can pretty much hit any of these guys. So let's go for this guy right here. So him, shooting at this guy. Yeah, so that's within his 40 feet. Orc A has a MDV of 4. So what did I say? L3, so he's -2 on his roll. So -2 to his roll, 20 on the 4, it's going to be a success. He is doing it at EL 0, so it's just a straight 3d10. So let's see what he gets. Well, there's 15, there's 20 something, so that's enough to kill the thing. So let's see, Orc A number 1 is wiped out of existence. Cool. All right, so that is... you know what? I probably need to write down a whole whack of orcs here. We have 3 A's. And that was orc number 3 is in the front there, so that was number 1. Yeah, so this guy is minus... Well, this guy's dead. This is a minus 18-ish smokeless flame from Gildor. All right, we have some orc Bs. Orc Bs have 12 hit points. Well, these guys are MDV 4, CDF, combat difficulty factor of 2. Orc Bs are CDF 2, MDV 3, and Orc C. Actually, how many of these guys are there? There's 2 of those. And C is 10 hit points. And there's 2 of these guys. They have a CDF of 1 and MDV 3. CDF 1 and MDV 3. Actually, let's get some of the other stats in here. OCV 2, ECV 3, natural armor value of 1, OCV 5, ECV 3, OCV 5, ECV 3, strength bonus plus 1, strength bonus plus 1, natural armor value of 1, natural armor value of 2. They're all in leather. Axe. These guys are axe as well. These guys are bow. And what else is useful here? EL2, EL1, EL1, and I guess the rest I can look up as I need it. Okay. So that was magic effect. I should... You know what? I'll... so MDV 4. That's going to be... You cast it EL3, so 5 times 4 is going to be 20. And the expertise points off of that are going to be MDV times 2, so 8 expertise. Awesome. All right. So that's mana allocation, missile fire, magic effect. Orc C, who has a bow, he's way at the back here. So I'm going to assume that because of all the multiple targets, well, you know what? It's still, that's what, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 20. So it's double for obscurement and double again for essentially double the obscurement. So that's going to be 40 feet, 40, 80 feet. So if we look at range of the bow, regular bow that is, the regular bow has a range of 20, 80 feet, and 20 is a medium range, which puts him on the -6 line. So you know what? He'll take a shot. What the heck? On the -6 line. This is just before the magic effect went off. And 4 is probably going to be hit on Raffin. -6 line, 4, +2 for the shield, I think. +1 for the shield, 5, -1, so still 4. So yeah, it's a severe hit on the -6. What are you doing, Raffin? So die 6 plus nothing, or die 10 plus nothing. And that's 9 points. So Raffin, you, and one of the things I was probably doing before was damaging armor on an arrow hit, and I probably, just like shields, I don't believe armor gets damaged, and I'm probably going to say the same thing here. So he's subtracting 4 from that 9 points of damage, so he's taking 5. And I'm gonna say arrows don't damage like weapons, like other weapons do for armor. Just similar to the shields, where arrows don't damage shields. So, all right. And movement melee. Okay, so Raffin, you are swinging at the guy in front of you. You are on the -7 line. You got a hit. Or sorry, +7 line. And you're subtracting 8 from your roll, if I remember correctly. That's going to be 16. No other pluses? Hopefully, come on. We should have swung at the other guy. And actually, his DC is the same. -7 line. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's just a regular hit. And Raffin on a regular hit with his sword here does a D6 + 5. And that's going to be 6 points. Less 3 for his natural armor value and leather. So 3 points get through. Raffin with the bastard sword. You've reversed that from last time. All right. Marazan. You know what? You are swapping to your bow since you can't do anything else here. To your longbow. And you are firing during the melee phase since I didn't do it before and she hasn't moved. She's going to be firing at point blank essentially, which is on the point blank for longbow is on the +12 line. He has longbow skill of 7, so she's subtracting 7, and she's shooting at orc B. So she's -7 +1, so -6. The orc B has a field and an EL1. So on the +12 line at -6, and that's a miss. Okay, the orcs swing back. So Orc A, this first one, guy right here, swings at Raffin. And he is on the -5 line, no, -4 line. 32, that's going to be a shield hit. He does 5 points, which is enough to do yet another point of damage to Raffin's shield. So Raffin's shield is up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage. And, oh, yeah, even with the -5, that still would have been just a shield, or just a shield hit. The other guy, Orc B, OCB 5, he's on the -4 line as well. He is subtracting 0. So +1 EL1 minus his EL1. It's going to be a 0. So -4 line. Oops. Let's roll this again. 34. That is another shield hit. Just there. Oops. In the box. There we go. 6, 7. No, 6. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. Which is going to be enough to break the shield. I had 4 points left. And 4 points go to Raffin. Since the shield is broken. Oh, what is Raffin doing? He's going to, so Marazan's going to skip the attack next round and hand Raffin her shield, which means she won't be attacking. Raffin will still be attacking. He won't have a shield to help block next round. And we'll go from there. All right, so mana allocation. Gildor is doing same spell again. He's gathering his mana. So that's going to be another 4 points. 835? Yeah, he's not going to be able to do another one of those. So, missile fire. We have Orc C at the back there, who is going to, I suppose Orc A kind of bumped himself up. And Orc C bumped himself, oh no, Orc C is staying there. Orc B moved up. And he's, oh wow, these guys are amazing from back there. 8. No shield, so no minuses. He's -1. 8, 7. Another severe hit on Raffin. Wow. And that's going to bounce off his leather and helm, so nothing there. And magic effect. So Gildor. 11, that's going to work, regardless of whatever minuses or pluses. And we have 3d10 of damage to Orc A number 2. So 12, 19 would be enough to kill this guy right here. Where is he? He's gone. So number 2. Oops. I guess it'll be this one. Smokeless Flame from Gildor. So again, Gildor is doing another MDV 4, 20, map 8, expertise. Cool. And movement and melee. Orc B will move up. Raffin will swing at Orc A number 3. Come on, Raffin, you got to do better on some of these rolls. Everybody else is. So 44 less 8, 36. And plus 7 line, that's going to be a hit. And he's doing a D10 plus, or no, sorry, a D6 plus 5, 9 less 3 points for natural armor value, no, less 3 points natural armor value in armor. Did I say 9 less 3, so 6. He's still up, unfortunately. And Marazan is handing him a shield, so they're not doing anything, or she's not doing anything. Orc A swings, minus bunch on the minus 3 line. Minus 4 line. Yeah, minus 4 line. That's a miss. Orc B on the minus 4 line as well. 19. That's going to be a hit. So D6 plus 2. So 5 points. Less 2 for his armor, so 3 points. And him and his armor take 3. And what else? I think that's it. Yep. Okay, next phase. What are we doing here? Raffin has taken a total of 12 points of damage. He's okay. So Gildor is going to go back to the bow. And Marazan is using her bow. So let's do missile fire. Gildor's shooting at Orc A. 88 is going to be a miss on the plus 12 line. Doesn't have anywhere near that many minuses. Got a minus 5. Plus 2, so minus 3. And Marazan is on the plus 12 line as well. She rolls a 25. Going to be a hit. She's shooting at B or A. Guess it really doesn't matter. She'll shoot at A. And that is going to be D6 plus 1. 7 points. Wow, that's pretty good. 7 less natural armor value in R, so 4 points get through. Minus 4, that's 13, is still standing. This is Marazan with the bow. The longbow, actually. Okay. Melee. Raffin. Finish off this guy. No excuses. 82. How can you miss? Okay, Orc A swinging back. 99. It's going to be a miss. Orc B there swinging back is a 16 with no minuses. So 16 on the minus 4 line. That's going to be a hit. At plus 2, 8 points. Wow. So 6 get through. I think Raffin's armor is going to fall off here. Minus 6. His armor's broken. And 6. So he's taken 19 points, and his armor is now fallen off, essentially. Did I forget Orc C's missile fire? I think I did. 81, that's going to be a miss. All right, next phase. Okay, I think Gildor is going to do a healing on Raffin. And he wants to get it off the same round. So let's see what he can do here. His heal is heal 1. Oops. Heal 1. Base mana costs 1. He can gather 3 if he's casting it at heal 1. 2. He's going to try using his language. And if it works, he'll cast heal 1. If it doesn't, he'll be casting heal 0. So language is 80%. 46. Language works. So he's casting it at heal 1. So that he can get it off this round. So that uses the last 3 mana points that he has. And this is where he hopes the spell actually works. So, of course, Raffin wants it to work. Raffin has an MDV of 3, so it's -6 to the, no, -3 to the roll. Let me double check that. Sure, it's just MDV subtracted once. Yeah, it's double the EL, that's what it was. So he's casting it at effectively EL2. So it's -4 for that, -3 for Raffin, so -7 total to his roll on the +4 line. And he fails. So Raffin doesn't get a heal and he's used up the last of his mana. Great. Well, but 80 something. And he doesn't even get a partial out of it because he needed to get 60, 72. Yeah, 72. So, okay. Missile fire. Oh, I guess I kind of jumped the gun on the magic effect there, but missile fire. So Marazan is shooting at orc. You know what? She'll shoot at orc A. Let's see if we can drop him. 72 on the +12 line. Oops. And it's going to be a shield hit. He does have a shield. He can't damage it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, Raffin, you are on the +7 line. 25. Holy smokes, you finally hit. Oops. Just 1d6 +5, so 7 less 3, 4 points. That's going to be enough to... let's see, 14, 17. Yeah, so that drops the orc essentially. Orc's on the ground, squirming around a bit. But let's get... well, effectively he's dead. I'll be moving up. The other orc, well, I guess they both swing at him. They are on the -5 lines, -4 lines. CV5, yeah, -4 line. 63, going to be a miss, and 84, actually an extra -5 on that, but it's a miss anyways. And we are on the next phase. Gildor's back to his bow. And just for the sake of argument, when he's casting a spell, he's kind of just moving his bow to the... well, his bow is in his left hand. He only needs the one hand for gathering the mana. And he will shoot at orc B number 2 there. This guy on Raffin's right. Or off Raffin's left, sorry. That's on the +12 line. 0-1. Any way you look at it, that's going to be a deadly hit. With it. So deadly with the bow is going to be 2d10 +6. So, pathetic. So 9 points less the natural armor value, less the 2 points for the leather helm and shields, or leather armor and leather helm. So -3. So 6 points get through. -6. Gildor with the bow. Longbow. Right, and same thing for Marazan. She's shooting at the same one. 11 minus. So far it's a severe. Marazan has a bow skill of 7, and the guy she's shooting at has EL 1, so it's -6. That's going to be a 5. The plus 12 line. It's a severe. Still a severe, almost a deadly. On a severe hit, she is doing a D10 plus 7. That's going to be 15 less 3, so 12. And that's going to be enough to... Actually, he's got a ETV of 3, -3, so he can only go to -15. So that's -9 for Marazan with the longbow. This guy's dead. Good. Let's take him out of the picture. Orc B number 2. Oh, another little splatter mark where he was. Orc B. Did I forget to shoot Orc C again? Probably did. 49 -4. It's going to be a miss. Okay. Orc B swings back at Raffin. 97 is going to be miss. And let's see what's happening here. Orc C is going to pull out his what has he got? A scimitar, and charge up in the next round after an orc. This other orc back here is going to, actually Orc C is going to shoot. Orc B, C number 1 here in the back is going to pull out a scimitar, move up. So I think, I don't remember if I did a tick here or not, but anyways. Phase 4 of round 2, we get no magic effect, we get missile fire. So Gildor 0-2, wow, shooting at Orc B, of course. Actually, yeah, he's shooting at Orc B. That's going to be another deadly. It's going to be 2d10 plus 6. 2d10 plus 6. So that's going to be 15 points less 3, so 12 points to Orc B. That guy's dead, so -12 from Gildor with his longbow. And that's enough to drop him to the ground. Doesn't quite kill him, but for all intents and purposes, he's going to be essentially out of this battle. Movement and melee. What do I want to do here? Marazan will, with her swapping to her sword, will move up. This guy will move up to meet her with his scimitar. Raffin will grab the... Raffin will grab a target shield from one of the orcs here on the ground that doesn't have a damage shield. So for the moment, he's got a target shield, has an EL 8. Makes his, and he's got a shield target H3. Whoops. He's got a EL 3. which makes that a 11. Okay. Just as good as his heater shield that is destroyed. And he'll just finish off Orc B, which will be another 3 points for Raffin with his Bastard Sword. Okay, so Raffin, what he's doing, Marazan, she will swing at the orc in front of her. He says, Raffin, watch this. This is how you're supposed to kill these guys. So her OCV is 9 versus his DPC. So she's on the +3 line. Or +3. She's on the +6 line. And that's going to be at least a severe. She's subtracting 6 + 7, so 13. This guy, do these guys have shields? I don't think they do. They will fight defensively, so that EL1 that he has with his scimitar will actually go against his defense. I don't think these guys have anything else. They don't have... No, oh, they do have banded target shields. So... -2. So, what did I say? 6 and 7, 13, 11. -11 to the roll, so that's going to be a 4. On the +6 line. Still a severe. Okay, so a severe for... Severe for Marazan is going to be D10 + 10. 11. Wow, that's gonna... I suppose that's something. 11. And he's subtracting 3, so that's going to be 8. That's number 1. -8 for Marazan with the broadsword. And I think that's going to be it for this phase. Actually, no. Yes, that's going to be it for this phase. I have a feeling I missed shooting Orc C number 2 in the back there, but figured out phase 1. Let's see. He will move up to there. He still gets a view of everybody. He's not shooting this phase as a result. Raffin is not doing anything. Marazan is swinging. Oh, actually, Orc C is going to shoot at Marazan at the back there. 91. That's going to miss. And Marazan swing. 30 -11, I think it was. So 19 can be hit. And on a hit, she is doing D6 + 6. 12 points. That's going to be enough to kill this guy. He has a DTV of -3. So he goes to 13. That's going to be a total of 5 for Marazan with the broadsword. All right. I think that, yeah, so let's work C1. And C1, where are you? You're dead 2. And that last guy is drawing a scimitar and screaming at the top of his lungs saying, "We've been defeated." So, not sure if there's anybody left in the cave, but we'll see. Actually, he's calling out in Orcish, and these guys... Actually, I guess Marazan does understand Orc, so he's called out his leader's name, or a specific name, assuming it's his leader's, and saying that we've all fallen, beware, sort of thing. Marazan will move up. We'll all move up, I guess. So she will swing at this guy. 95 is definitely a miss. He swings back at her. 30, 86 is going to be a miss. I missed a tick there, but that's all right. Not really that important now that I'm not doing spells and all the rest of the stuff. The movement in this case is very limited. So the next phase, Gildor shoots his bow. That's going to be a 0-1 on the +12 lines. Doing kind of amazingly well with his bow today. That's what, third crit? Longbow 2d10 +6. 9, 19. That's going to be enough to finish off that guy completely. 13, Gildor with the longbow. So that last guy drops. That made short order of him. So they are going to, whoops, keep dragging the window instead of moving contents of the window. They will move up into the chamber here. And basically, in this first room, actually, yeah, in this first room, do I have descriptions? Yeah, so this is a storage and cooking room. There's a campfire in the larger cave area here, very high ceiling. There's a lot of crates and barrels and miscellaneous things that they've pillaged kind of piled up in the corner here. When they Marazan's going to look up this way. Raffin's going to look over here in this area. Raffin basically sees a lot of what am I doing? Raffin sees a lot of miscellaneous sleeping bags or basically beds on the floor. Looks like there was at least 5 orcs that had been in this particular chamber at one point. He'll head back and say the area is clear. Marazan will head up into this area, followed by Gildor. So you'll say that there's another sleeping area with a bunch of mats or crudely made beds on the floor for another 5 orcs that occupy this area at one point. And there's another tunnel that heads off to the east. So they will collect themselves in this room. And Marazan will then lead the way this time. And let's see, actually we'll put Gildor second and Raffin behind since his armor's fallen off. Raffin's going to be using his bow with this in this next combat, I'm sure. And you know what? I'll oops. Oh, there we go. If I do this, that's better. Her view. Not sure how she can see down there. Interesting. I've got some weird shadows happening here. So they will move up. And waiting for her in the chamber here, basically cutting her off at the entrance, will be this rather large, impressive looking orc. The orc leader. He is a 1.6 times orc. Don't actually have a name for him, but leader of this little band of merry orcs, or not so merry anymore, has 20 hit points. He has an OCV of 6, a DCV of 3. He has a strength bonus of +1. He has a natural armor value of 2. He has an MDV of 5, not that that matters. EDF of 2. Fights 2 -3. Oh, here's an important one. He has an EL of 4 with his weapons and stuff. He is wearing banded ring armor, EV2, metal helm, EV2, but a heater shield. Oh, excellent. There's the heater shield. Knowing these guys will likely survive. So he's got natural armor value. Oops, I already wrote that down. So his EV is 2 + 2. And he's got a heater shield with shield, which is heater shield. What is that? EV of 10 + 4. There's heal. Okay. And he is using a bastard sword. So weapon strength bonus +1. And yeah, that's about it. Basically do it for this guy. So, on to the next battle with the leader. Oh, we're into a new round of combat here. Actually, I should have, well, actually, yeah, I should have given these guys their experience and everything else from that first battle. But basically, after each set of combat, and you're supposed to dole out the experience and everything else. So I'll see about treating these separately. I'm not sure that would make that much of a difference. It might when it comes to characteristic points, but I guess we'll see. So that one's done. So we are in phase 1. No mana allocation. We do have a missile fire from Raffin. He does see the orc. Range is 10, so 20, which is still point blank. So on the +12 line, he is bow skill of 5 versus the shield of skill of 4. So he's -1 on his roll on the +12 line. 19. Well, that's a good start. 19 on +12 line. Oh, so close. So regular hit, which is going to be D6 +1 for Gildor. That's going to be 3 points, which is going to basically bounce off his 4 points of armor. So for regular hits, his armor value is going to be 4. For furious and deadly hits, his armor value is going to be 6. He's blocking a fair bit of damage there. I think Gildor needs to spend some time crafting his first magic item, which is going to be a mana storage device, so he gets a little bit more mana to be using in encounters like this. But I'll probably save that for the next episode, or the next session of this. Okay, so missile fire basically did nothing. Now, I don't think... Yeah, the leader's just using a regular bastard sword. There's no magic weapon involved here. So Marazan is going first. She is going to be -13 on her roll, +4 for the shield, and she's on the +6 line. So what did I say? So that's going to be -9 on her roll on the +6 line. Oh, deadly hit on her first swing. Nice. Well, let's see what she does. And she is doing 3d10 + 11. Eh, 11, 22, 20, 28 points of damage. So 28 less 6, 22 points is enough to take him down in one swing. And of course, 22 points on her weapon here is going to be another point of damage. No chance of breaking. It has to double the fatigue value. Oh. And well, that was short-lived. I was expecting a little bit more of a challenging battle here. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do her experience for this guy first. So 22 points. Make that 23. She'll poke him for the last DTV point there, since he was still conscious, semi-conscious. And his CDF is 2, so that's going to be 46 combat experience points. Oops, combat experience points. And going to be 4 expertise with her broadsword. And that's going to be expertise points, CDF times 2, so 4. And she gets 1 characteristic for this. 1 characteristic. So let's do that first. She's got plus 46. It's 1 characteristic, which I'm going to throw onto. Let's throw it on ability. Is that going to be good? Maxed out here. 6 agility. Yeah, she wants to see if. Yeah, let's bump up her dex agility, dex agility, dex. Yeah, throw it on her dex. That's going to be 32. And she gets 4 expertise points on her broadsword, which is maxed out, which means she gets 4 more combat experience points. All right. Now, I'm going to do the rest of these guys' experience, I guess. Okay. Oops, Gildor. So with his longbow, he's done 9, 15, 27. Did I miss any? So 27, which means it's going to be, what is that? 40, 54 combat experience points, and he will get 4 expertise with his bow. He didn't use any other weapons here. The shield never came into play. Raffin is got, with his bastard sword, he's done 3, 6, 9, 13, 16, 16, so that's going to be 32 combat experience points and 4 expertise for his bastard sword and his shield. We got 4 expertise. Oops. All right, and oh, sorry, down here, although she didn't get hit, she used her shield in battle, so she gets 1 expertise point to her shield, which is 1 more point. Too bad she didn't get hit in her shield. It would have bumped it up a level. Okay, what else? 27. Oh, right, 13. So 13. And these guys are CDF1, it was. Combat difficulty factor 1. So yeah, that's just 13 combat experience points. He's already got his expertise for his longbow. Let's secure that. Marazan, with her longbow, he did 4, 9 more, 13. So longbow 13, so that's going to be 26 combat experience points. And 4 expertise. Down here, she did 8, 13. This is with the broadsword, 13. So that's going to be 13 combat experience points. And 1 for the shield. So I will go through and add all these into the character sheets afterwards, and for the next session I'll be printing out new characters, or new character sheets with all the updates. So what these guys end up doing here, Raffin will drop the round shield and go back to and take the leader's target shield. So he is back to the heater shield. No one. It's going to be an armor value of 10. This shield has no damage on it. He will take the time to put on his other set of armor, and he'll bring the broken set back to town. They will spend some time searching through this room here, and what we find is in the corner there's a chest without a lock on it, and inside the chest they find, what do they find in the chest? In the chest they find a total of 107 copper coins. Let's see, 92 silver coins and 6 gold coins. And a gem, or sorry, a jewel. I'm going to go through the roll-up procedure for a jewel here that's in book 4. Because it's kind of an interesting process, I guess. So we have a jewel. Now, let me find where that is in here. Treasure generation. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we start with, what size of jewel is it? And that is a D10 roll. So let's hope we get high here. Let's go with this dice. 3. So it's a small jewel. So it has a base factor 4. Now, the next is the stone quality. So it's going to be another D10 roll. So 4 again, or that's going to be 0. So minimal flaws. Be 0, so it doesn't modify the end result. The clarity going to be a 4. Wow, that's kind of boring. Another 0. And next is the rarity. This is where we want to roll nice and high, so we get a good multiplier. 49. So it is a onyx. Which has a 1.5 times multiplier, so that's going to be going to make this a 6. Now, next is the value. So it's got a factor of 6. So it's down here at the bottom. And again, we want a nice high roll. So 65, it's going to be 0.6 times the factor. So what's that? 3.6? 0.6 silver coins times. I think that equals 3.6 silver coins or so. Something like that. Okay, so anyway, so they've got a jewel that's worth 3.6 silver coins. I was hoping to get something a little better than that. Let me see. Maybe if I use how about a blue dice? That looks kind of like a jewel. So an 8, that would have been a size factor 6. 5, so it's still 6. 1 minus 5, so that would have been a 1. Yeah, that one was even worse. Oops. That would have been a percentile 88. 3 times 1, so 3. Yeah, so anyways, not so great. Stick with the 3.6 silver coin. On small onyx with minimal flaws and clarity of average. And of course, if they try and sell it, they'll get half the value for it. So anyways, they finish clearing out the cave here. They will collect up the swords. The leather armor is of no use to them. It's bloodied and damaged. They'll collect the shields. They will gather up all they can and head out back to the village of Gold Edge. Just for the sake of argument here, roll for an encounter. 85 is not going to be an encounter that day. So they, by the end of the day, make their way back to Gold Edge. They'll spend some time that afternoon flogging their equipment. I won't go through that here. I'll just let you know what the total is for next time around. And as I said, they are back in, made their way here, down to the road, and then back into Gold Edge. So anyways, that's it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it and hope you join me next time. Thanks a lot.